All right, so this says that a spring with a relaxed length of L naught is hung vertically from the ceiling. So let's sketch out what we're doing here. So I've got my ceiling here, and I have a spring, and the distance from here to here is L naught. All right. Then it says when an object with a mass of m is attached to it. So let's attach the mass m. So we'll have an object like this with a mass of m is attached to the end of the spring. It's slowly lowered until it reaches an equilibrium. That means that it stops moving. And so a different take on that is this is like part one, and then this is like part two. So now part two is we're going to go a little bit further, okay? Because the spring is pulling, or the mass is pulling it down, the mass m. And then what is the total distance that's traveled? Well, it travels the original distance, which is Lm, or L naught, and then they're calling this delta x. Okay, so they say that that distance is delta x. Which of the following indicates the length of the spring if the mass of the object is removed and the object is 4m is attached to the spring? So what we're seeing is that the spring is deformed or stretched this much with mass. What happens if I have another scenario where, and the assumption is that when I put a mass on there that's 4m, what is the distance? Well, we know that L naught is just going to be L naught. That is its free space. So then what would this be here? Well, if gravity can pull this delta x, right, and remember that your force is equal to the constant of the spring times x. Well, the constant remains the same. So if I increase the mass, then it's probably going to be 4 times. So this would just be 4 times delta x. So the final answer would be your length would be L naught plus 4 times delta x. Because the force is mg, right? So this force over here originally is mg, and the constant remains the same. So when I say, when I replace that with 4 times mg, I end up with 4 mg equals the constant times x. And so when what we can do is the mass is bigger. So it would, in order to go from here to here, I'd have to multiply both sides by 4, basically. Does that make sense, algebraically speaking?